how to motivate your kid now that spring break is over. A lot of students struggle to finish out the year strong. So how do you keep their minds on schoolwork?
Who came up with this topic? Dr. John Duffy is a clinical psychologist, best-selling author, and national speaker on relationships, parenting, teens, and families. I saw you in the corner of my eye where we were talking about
nodding,
being me, raising a suicide-free kid. Any quick thoughts?
You guys have already done such great therapy this morning. It's unbelievable. I feel superfluous
every day.
No, I agree entirely. Like I love the distinction between, like, you know, be yourself, do your best, and you know, like what you were saying, Tiffany, you know, you're always good enough, no matter who you are, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's a really, really important message to get across. And I agree, like, there are things parents can do to help their kids prevent it, but it's never a parent's fault. It's a tricky, tricky thing.
I would think, you know, kind of in part of what Molly was saying, you know, one of the things that we impose on children or would want them to be is as motivated as we are, as good of students as we were, or whatever it may be.
We thought we were.
I really was. I mean, but Molly wasn't. I was. So I would want my children as well to be that motivated and good of a student. This time of year, people start lacking motivation, especially once it finally will get nice out. Right. You know, you're sort of daydreaming about getting outside and playing. How do you keep kids motivated this time of year?
It's real tricky because it used to be senioritis.
It's all right, I can take it. And it's true. B students rule the world, okay? Just saying.
Well, and that's no small thing, right? Because sometimes we impose on our kids, hey, we were A students. I was working with a boy the other day, and he was saying, my parents were perfect and they were A students. And as he was talking, I was thinking, I wonder if that's really true or if that's a bill of goods he was sold. I encourage parents, like, hey, if you struggled, let your kids know you struggled, especially this time of year, and lend them some of your expertise about how to get through these last couple of months, because, like I was saying, it used to be senioritis, and now it's junior and sophomore and 8th grade-itis, you know. So, it's tougher and tougher to get kids motivated in that home stretch. But the more you share your story, and the more you're problem solving instead of damning your kids, you know, for doing it wrong, the better off you are, for sure.
And not belittling as it relates to grades is huge. I have so much I want to ask you, but I want to say really quick, related to that, I honestly thought I was mostly an A student.
Yes.
And I was on my oldest kid. You know, we tend to do that, especially with the first one. And you should be able to do this. I could do this. And I was in a lot of other activities, blah, blah, blah. And I came home to see my parents, and my mom had my high school report cards out on the dining room table. And she's like, remember what you said to Callie about your grades? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I was not a straight A student. And it was a good reality check for me.
Absolutely, right? I mean, and I think a lot of us, you know, are revisionist historians about our own past. And it does our kids this grave disservice, right? Because if they fail at accomplishing what we did, sometimes they feel like, I'm not part of the club, I'm not really part of the family, when in fact the whole thing's a straw dog. It wasn't really true to begin with, right?
Particularly true of dads in their sporting careers.
But
anyway, really quick, why do, though, because some kids truly lack motivation. They'll say, I don't care about school, I don't care about my grades.
I don't like it.
It's a horrible thing to hear as a parent.
It is, and it brings this hopelessness out in parents. Here's what I encourage parents to think about. Don't believe your kids when they say they don't care. Here's the thing. When kids are unmotivated, they just lack faith in themselves. So they opt out. And it happens all the time. What laziness looks like is a kid who's decided, you know what, I don't really have a lot of faith in myself, I don't have a lot of confidence, so I'm not going to try very hard. And then I get the luxury of saying, I didn't try very hard. I didn't care.
It also looks like procrastination.
Yes.
What about incentives? You know, money, things like that for good grades. How do you feel about bribes and incentives?
Good question.
Great question. And a lot of people are all about it. I don't like bribes a whole lot. Well, I sat across from a kid one time who was offered a car for straight C's.
I was like, I got a new outfit.
For straight C's?
For A's.
For straight C's. C's. And he failed that. And I think the reason he failed that is it was a show of no confidence in himself and his abilities, and he knew it. He knew his parents didn't believe in him, that a car was necessary to get him over the hump, and so I'm not a big fan of that. Constructive feedback, I'm all about that. You know, what went right on that test or that quiz or that assignment, how can we build on that? I'm all for that. The bribes, I don't think they really work.
You feel like we do our best parenting when we truly connect with our kids, and a lot of that is about listening. So quickly, how do you avoid the struggle, and what's a parent to do to motivate kids? Because that's what you want.
you want to talk openly about the struggle and your struggles too, like you're saying, you know what I mean? Like recognize, oh, maybe I didn't do as well as I did. So talk openly about your struggles and be really fair about that with your kids. And you want to pull judgment out of the equation, which is the toughest thing for parents to do, is decide, I'm not going to judge my kid for what they're doing. I'm going to be constructive with them, because the judgment drives this wedge, and your kid might seem motivated for a day or two, but it's not really motivation. It's really just getting you off their backs, if we're being really honest here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a good resource for parents when you think about, you know, ideas for how to do this? Yeah. I mean, sure, right? You're going to say, call me.
Right.
A lot of parents will say, I can't fit into their schedule, or
Right.
maybe they don't need that yet, or whatever the excuse may be.
Yeah, there's a couple of good books out there. There's a book called How Children Succeed by a guy named Paul Tuff, with some really interesting ideas that you wouldn't think of otherwise. Raising Teens in the 21st Century by this guy, James Wellborn. Really, really great insights in that book as well. And, you know, The Available Parent, you can't really go wrong with it.
It's an awesome
Dr. John Duffy's book himself.
And we'll list those on our, Paul, were you writing that down there in the control room? Because what we'll do is we'll write down those books and those authors, and then we'll put it on our website so that people can go there and find those great resources. And to find The Available Parent, a fantastic book by Dr. Duffy. You can go to his website to even purchase the book, drjohnduffy.com. So
You're great.
awesome.
Thanks
do
for being
a whole
here.
show on that. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you,
love
guys.
it.